Hey, what's up you guys? After Show Reacts here, and today I'm going to be reacting to some more Person of Interest. This is Season 2, Episode 17. Let's get into Person of Interest.
You are being watched.
You know, as of like yesterday, I think,
every hour of every day.
Season 1, Episode 11
terror, but it sees
YouTube.
everything.
I wonder if we've gotten to the point
people.
where I'm enjoying the show. Obviously, the first
We don't.
reactions, I was like,
Hunted by the authorities. You'll never find us.
People on YouTube know I like the show.
Perpetrator. If your number's up,
I don't know.
you'll find you.
Any word from our dearly departed Agent Shaw?
Not a whisper. What worries me more at the moment is that we haven't heard anything from the machine recently either.
Yes, I've noticed. 3 days, no numbers. Maybe we're finally cleaning up the streets.
As much as I'd like that, I have to wonder if it hasn't got something to do with the actually departed Kara Stanton. The virus that she uploaded during the time you spent in your bomb vest could easily have spread from the Department of Defense systems all the way to the machine.
You built the machine, Finch. Can't you access it? You know, check under the hood?
I sealed it for a reason, Mr. Reese. I'm afraid we're gonna have to wait and see what Stanton's employers have in mind for the future.
Maybe your machine really is on the fritz. Has this ever happened before, Finch?
It's a precedent.
It gave us all 6 numbers at once, spread out across the country like this.
Very worrisome. Stranger yet, I can find no solid connection between them.
Maybe they're plotting something together, or someone's plotting against them.
I wondered that. 3 of the 6 numbers are listed on the NCIC missing persons database. 2 of the others dropped off the grid entirely.
People with something to hide or hiding from something. And there's one local, Jack Rollins. He's an antique dealer in Brooklyn. He hasn't been reported missing yet, but could be the next target. I'll go say hi.
I found an account for Jack Rollins' visa, payments on the beach property, and a train ticket to Suffolk County, all in the last 24 hours.
Rollins was in a hurry to get out of the city, and we're not the only ones looking for him.
Heading out in a storm like this, Rollins is running from something.
I'll find out what's on Owen Island.
Mr. Reese, is that a good idea?
Storm or no, Finch, if Rollins is our one lead, I'm headed to the beach.
All that business about Cal Beecher. What do you know?
Been doing my job for a long time, too. And not having those IAB files, I can only surmise, but the kind of red flags they put up, Beecher is bad news. Steer clear, Carter.
This is Special Agent Fahey.
This is Detective Carter of the NYPD. I've been looking through some missing person files that have your notes on them. Cases were connected through one potential MO, something about missing or destroyed photos you uncovered at more than one potential crime scene. Have you been able to chase down any new leads on that MO?
I work out of headquarters in D.C., Detective. I don't chase leads. I write reports that no one reads.
Right, but I might have a new informant with additional information for this case.
Well, I put all that information together months ago. I called the NYPD at the time. No one there was helpful. No one had anything to add. Now something suddenly just popped up.
It's a confidential source.
Confidential from the FBI. Nice try. Call the Bureau Liaison if you have any new information. Otherwise, have a nice day.
Well, I'm back at Rollins in Brooklyn.
Why go back there?
Detective Carter spoke with an FBI agent who's discovered a pattern in the crimes. There were no photographs of the missing persons at their homes, so I'm looking for photos, or a lack thereof. Basement storage. We'll take a look downstairs, Bear. Nothing to worry about. Empty photo frames, just like the others. Mr. Reese, I found something missing in Olive Bay.
Finch, I didn't copy. Finch? Finch. I'm not alone.
Bear? What are you doing? What is it?
Where's the good boy found? There's a good boy.
Mr. Reese, I think I know what happened to all those missing people.
FBI, don't move. Hands up. I want to see some ID.
Well, which is it? You want my hands up or you want to see ID? Jennings, U.S. Marshal Service. I'm trying to locate someone, a guy named Rollins. Got some questions for him.
Well, you look for Rollins? Me too. I believe he's connected
To another missing persons case. We believe a wanted fugitive may be looking for Rollins. Is he here?
I don't know. I just started looking.
Or why don't we take our weapons off each other and clear this house?
Rollins was here recently. He couldn't have gotten far in the storm. My car's outside. Why don't we head to the local police station? We're gonna need a few more guys on this.
Someone tried to destroy these teeth.
But the flame wasn't hot enough to burn enamel. Could take some time, but if the Vic's dentals are on file, we could get an ID.
No, we can't wait that long. Assuming that the teeth belonged to Jack Rollins, he was likely dead when they were removed. One would hope so, anyway.
Well, whoever did this knows how to get rid of a body. They didn't just want to kill Rollins.
They wanted him to disappear.
We may be looking at more than a string of missing persons. We may be looking at a string of murders. 6 victims. If our killer can assume these identities, then he would be a composite of all these missing persons in more ways than one.
We're looking at a serial killer. Finch, what are you doing?
Mr. Reese is out on an island looking for a man violent enough to pull out another man's teeth. And now I can't warn him. I have to get there myself.
I'm pretty sure all the roads are closed now. How do you think you're gonna get out there?
I think I'll use my pilot's license.
We're looking for this man.
Don't recognize him, but if he was a renter, he's probably been evacuated. Chief, come in?
Mind if we at least make a few phone calls while we're here?
Sure. If the cell and landlines weren't down, the power wasn't out, and the emergency radio didn't pick the day to crap out on me, anything else?
Yeah. How's your coffee?
Look, Marshal, we can't afford to sit around here with or without the deputy's help. I don't think we're on the trail of just a missing person here. I think Rollins is dead, and he may not be the only one. I think we're on the trail of a cold-blooded killer.
You didn't want to share this earlier?
Well, I did have all the facts. Technically, it's still just a theory. Tell me, what do you know about making a body disappear?
What brings you down here?
You? I would have called, but you're not answering those, are you? So I decided to drop by, and maybe you could tell me what I did wrong.
I'm working on something. I'll talk when I can.
I guess I'll check in later.
Special kind of man risks his life in this weather for a few crustaceans.
Fellas, I'm just a fisherman. There's a lot of money in this haul. Didn't know I was breaking the law.
You have ID?
Don't get asked for it on the water.
What's your name?
Ethan Matson.
Well, Ethan, you're on land now. Who's with you?
No one.
Hey, I know you're there. I've got 15 shots here. Think it over. No need for shooting. I was just looking to get away from this storm is all.
You from the island?
No, I was looking for some work on the boats. Got stuck out here by the storm, thought I'd ride it out. Let's get them both back to the station.
So his name was.
I don't care who you are. You can't endanger my citizens by landing your Cessna in the middle of my town.
Actually, a de Havilland Beaver.
What's going on here?
This amateur storm chaser, Harold Gull, is under arrest. He landed his float plane in the town square.
I needed a stretch of water to land, and there was, well, water everywhere.
And what's all this?
My meteorological equipment. I've been a certified member of the National Storm Chasers and Spotters Association for over 10 years.
Deputy, despite this man's recklessness, could you book him with endangering our lives after the storm? We have bigger things to worry about.
Fine, but when the storm ends, I'm hitting them with everything I've got.
The National Storm Chasers Association, Harold.
Well, it worked, didn't it?
We were wrong. This isn't a group conspiracy. Those numbers, they're all dead, and we're tracking their killer.
I know. I had the displeasure of seeing all that was left of the real Jack Rollins. Molars and all. Twisted Mind's idea of a trophy. What if the machine sent us all 6 numbers to tell us that someone had been all those people? What if a smart killer is interested not only in taking lives, but in taking identities, like a chameleon, changing into his victims, living their lives until he gets bored and moves on to the next? To identify such a killer, we would want to consider who he has been and what he might look like.
So how do you spot someone who's that good at being anyone else?
Excuse me, Marshal. That FBI guy needs to see you out back.
You need to see this. Stanley put them out. Someone used diesel to try to cook the pile. The killer was here minutes ago. He's close. He shed the Rollins identity.
Then it could be anyone in there.
So let me get this straight.
You want me to conduct a series of interviews with everyone on the station, and you want this guy to help.
He's the only one who arrived on this island after the bridge went out. No, he appears a little strange, but he does have some interesting equipment in those bags.
Yeah, well, unless he has a fingerprint scanner and a VICAP database. What does he have that we need?
Agent Fahey, is it? Are you familiar with the Instantel seismograph?
Body armor? I don't think we'll be taking too much heavy fire with this group.
Look, Jennings, I spend most of my 9 to 5 tethered to a desk. I've questioned a few embezzlers and some identity thieves. We're about to walk into a room with a killer.
And I'll be standing right behind you.
I'm with the FBI looking for a missing person on the island here. I'd like to ask you a standard series of questions, and I'd appreciate your cooperation.
Oh? Ask.
This is Jack Rawlins, trying to establish who had contact with him on the island recently.
Don't recognize him. We don't get many tourists this time of the year, but I would have seen him at the store.
Who do you recognize at the station tonight, Becky?
I've known Stanley most of my life.
Who don't you recognize?
That honeymooning couple, for one.
And where did you two meet?
We met in Albany.
Why didn't you evacuate earlier?
Told you, I got a few $1,000 crawling around in those traps you made me leave down on the docks.
So you disregarded a state of emergency?
I had to preserve my catch.
Seemed right body type.
Pulling traps all by yourself?
How's it going?
Good. See all these tiny waves? They're called microseisms, and all these little bumps are the heartbeat. The needle picks it up like it would a tectonic shift, and it's picking up a lot.
And everyone else?
I'm getting clean readings. The metal in the table amplifies it. Everyone's static. Stanley, the bar owner, is a little below average, but I think there might be something wrong with him.
No. I just think his blood alcohol level could start a lot more. That fisherman in there?
He's nervous about something.
I know Ethan Madsen. He's lived on Owen for 5 years. He gets into some trouble, but he's good on the boats. You want to know who I don't recognize? Half of Owen knows Cunningham Properties, but I can't say I've ever said hi to his face. And that drifter? I mean, who comes to an island in winter looking for seasonal work?
I mean, he never said his name.
Wondering if you could shed light on a former student who went missing. Henri Mouzet. He graduated
in 2005. I remember Henri. He was an international student. He went missing right after he graduated. Police called for weeks.
There was a digital trail on the boy in San Diego 18 months after graduating.
Just as we told the authorities then, Henri never left a forwarding address. We often lose touch with recent alumni until they settle down somewhere.
So the last time Henri was seen was on campus. He lived in student housing. Did he have a roommate?
Yes, his last year it was a student named Alex Declan. I just see a note on Henri's housing form. He requested a new roommate his last semester.
His last semester of his senior year. Does that happen often?
Not usually. Most seniors have a million other things on their mind. But the matter seems to have been resolved.
Do you have any records on Declan?
Declan is listed in housing as Henri's roommate, but I can't find his registration. No student photo either. Something must have fallen through the cracks.
Owen Island Station. This is Detective Josh Carter, 8th Precinct, New York City, calling on the emergency police frequency. Do you read me? Over.
This is Deputy Schmidt of the Owen Island PD. Who is this?
Detective Carter from New York City. I have new information for the U.S. Marshal on your island. I need to speak to him immediately.
Who is it?
Some detective from the city got through. Said her name was Carter, the generator.
Oh, great.
Do you read me? Over.
Is she dead?
Are they gonna blame Binge?
You shouldn't go out there. The storm's pretty bad.
I'm following up on the lead. It's urgent. I need to get to Owen Island.
Whoa, yo, I can't let you do that. I don't care what lead it is.
I'm going, Cal. I won't say it again.
Okay. But I'm driving.
Becky, what did they ask you?
They asked me who I recognized here.
So who don't you recognize?
Everyone, please settle down.
You're building a hotel on the other side of the island. Nobody even knows your face.
I have hundreds of business contacts in the city. Call any of them.
And what good did that do, Harold?
Come on.
Behavior analysis, John. Just give it a minute.
What about you, Mr. Newlywed? Nobody knows your face.
Wait a second, I know his face.
Everybody, we're forgetting she was killed with a knife. So whose knife was it?
I know whose it is. That knife, it's called a K-bar. Not exactly something you pick up at a local bait and tackle.
I didn't hurt anybody.
You need to be a special kind of person to carry a weapon like that.
Let me go!
That's what I thought.
I was lying. Okay? I was lying, but I'm not a killer.
No, you're a Marine. The knife, the tattoo, the D-rings clipped to your back. You're on the run.
24th MEU at a Camp Lejeune. Second tour. I couldn't go back. I wanted to get a boat to Canada. I got stuck here.
So who else knew you had that knife?
I don't know. I mean, I came into the station with the fisherman.
Wait, where is the fisherman?
He must have slipped out. I'll go after him. If I don't come back, get these people to safety.
You think we can cross the entire state before you say a word to me?
What do you want to talk about? I can think of some things, like how an NYPD detective got aced out of the FBI because she keeps bad company. How about that?
What are you talking about, the FBI?
Not a friend of internal affairs, huh, Kyle?
Josh, I'm in narcotics. We get pulled in by IAB half a dozen times a year. My neck of the woods don't mean a thing.
It does to me. Makes me wonder about the man I trusted.
Or what, you don't trust me? You think I'm dirty? Then I'm on the take, is that what you think?
I don't know what to think,
Yo,
Kyle.
what did they tell you about me?
Who's Lionel?
Beecher, slow down!
Why would you stop like that in rain?
You serious?
Yeah,
What do
you
think I
just
hurt you?
endangered her just then.
I don't know.
It's raining. Like, that's literally
But I don't wanna hurt
dangerous.
you.
Marijuana. This is what you were trying to protect from the storm.
Oh no, that couldn't be.
Unbelievable. We're hunting a killer. Instead, we get amateur drug night in the sticks. You smuggle it in on your boat. Don't say anything. Just bleed if I'm right. Ordinarily, I'd make sure you went behind bars. But I got bigger fish to fry. So you go in the trunk. FBI.
I thought so, but I thought it was too obvious. I don't know, the fact that he had glasses on just kind of gave off a vibe that he was the bad guy.
What gave me away?
And the fact that we didn't see him earlier on in the episode. Like, he was clouded or something.
How did you know?
The needle spiked in between the interviews when I wasn't watching, when you were resting on the table. You should keep an eye on that heart rate.
I knew you were too good at those interrogations. Who are you really?
I could ask you the same thing. You're taller than I would have thought, and you cut your hair.
And you bought every minute of the dedicated Agent Fahey.
Yes, quite the performance.
Make a sound. I start hurting innocents. Let's take a walk.
Thought a bit more privacy would do us some good.
You know, the walls are closing in. You have no place to run.
It's over.
It's over for Fahey, just like it was over for Rollins.
Was that before or after you tore the teeth out of his head and threw them in a furnace?
Damn things never burn sloppy, I know. But when the FBI is knocking on your door, you'll have to move faster than you should.
Other agents will come looking.
Like the last one, federal agents always work in pairs, but this hard ass showed up solo, in a stupid blue windbreaker, knocking on my door, looking for Rollins. He talked to me, seemed nervous, a little out of his element. Right then I knew I had him beat. He left me no choice, I had to kill him. Then I realized my only way off this island was to become him. When this damn storm hits and some cowboy U.S. Marshal comes knocking, I was stuck as Special Agent Fahey. So I improvised.
And the deputy, why harm her?
Well, I couldn't be sure what she heard off the radio. You always have to be ready to improvise. Honestly, the question isn't who I am. It's who you are. I watched you all night. I can always spot an imposter. I spotted you. Are you like
He'd be
me?
good at him Among Us.
You have no idea. You're an amateur at this.
As cold as this water is, it'll be quick.
Hey, Ethan. As quick as that?
Now that Fahey won't get far, I think the mysterious Mr. Gull might be my next great challenge.
You'll never get off the island. By morning, they'll come here looking for the real Alan Fahey.
And they'll find him in the trunk of his car.
And what about you?
And what about you? And what about you? And what about you? You asked the question and you're the answer. You're playing. You're gonna fly me out of here. You haven't outlived your usefulness.
You could never be me because I save lives. You take them.
No, I live those lives better than real people ever could. I follow them and watch them waste what they have. I do those identities justice. The things I've seen, the lives I've lived. One day I'll stop when I find the person I'm meant to be.
What? People like you don't stop. You can rationalize it however you like. But you hurt people because you like it. Because you're sick. You're maladjusted and you need help.
On second thought, maybe I'll find another way off this island.
You're going
I'll miss
towards the
finding
door.
out more about you. If there's anything left to tell, I'll make it up as I go along. Don't worry.
You're about to get shot
I'm
by
good at that.
John.
Just like you.
Oh, Carter.
You all right, Hal?
Detective?
You got sloppy there.
Impeccable timing.
How did you get here?
I hitched a ride with the Coast Guard, and some very unpleasant people inside said they thought they saw you come this way. So is that him? Our identity killer?
He was pretending to be an FBI agent. He was really rather good at it. He had a badge and a gun and
And what?
body armor.
All right. I forgot about that.
I don't know what happened last night between us, but I'm wondering what happens today.
I don't know what happens, but I'm glad you were here.
A drug smuggler shot at me with a spear gun last night.
Is that a first for you?
Wish I could say yes.
Glad you made it back, Mr. Reese.
I am too. And I'm glad the machine was right.
How so?
He was smart enough to tell us about a killer with multiple identities.
It may be true that the 6 numbers were not a glitch, but the 3 days of silence preceding it were. If the machine had been working properly, we might have gotten a number for the real Alan Fahey and saved him. Instead, an FBI agent is dead. I wish I knew what that means for the future.
At least the storm's passing.
No, Mr. Reese, I have a feeling that it's just beginning.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Quick interruption here. As you are no doubt aware, these past few years have been tough on all of us. And there are some things that none of us can hide from. The cost of living, for instance, food and things like electricity, gas, and water have all gone up, and they continue to go up. Now, I don't really like to advertise this, but in order to afford keeping the lights on, the camera running, and to be able to provide you guys with new content like this very edit, for example, I feel I need to let you guys know about how you can help support the channel and myself. I have a Patreon that if you pledge to, you're helping support the channel, and in return you can get a vast amount of content that you wouldn't regularly get on YouTube, such as full unedited reactions to my regular content, a ton of other shows and movies that you probably don't even know that I've reacted to. A link to this can be found in the description below, and it really does help the channel by keeping me and my very cute cats alive. Think of the cats. If you're interested, you can also check out our website, which is also linked below. Perhaps there's some shows and movies there that you didn't even know that I reacted to, but you always wanted to see. Please know, pledging is entirely your own choice, of course. You're welcome to stay here on YouTube and wait for the edits to come out. No worries. I'm not going anywhere. More edits are coming. I understand not everyone is in the position to support creators, but any help is welcome. Anyways, thank you for your continued support, whether it's through YouTube or on Patreon. You guys are the best. Now please, enjoy the rest of the video. Alrighty, well that was Person of Interest, Season 2, Episode 17. I can't help but feel like it was a little predictable that it was the the Fahey dude, because like when he was first shown at the beginning here, like in a call with Carter, like you couldn't see his face, so I mean it could have been anyone really. It could have been him, it could have been like the actual version of him, I don't know. Like when he showed up like later on in the episode, I was like, I'm not sure if that's the same, if that's supposed to be the Fahey guy, because I don't remember seeing his face properly, so I don't know. And then they mentioned his name a little bit later, and I was like, okay, he's meant to be the Fahey guy, but he still could be the bad guy. Like, he could be taking on that identity. But I didn't say any of this because it's just like an eternal thought, and I thought it was too obvious. Also, I didn't want to make myself seem dumb by, like, wondering if this is the same guy. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought, and I'll see you in the next one.